Hey folks, Pastor Josh here. We are going through our devotional, Advent devotional for 2016. Go ahead and open up to 1 Samuel 16. This is December 11th, 2016. 1 Samuel chapter 16. We go into verse 11. Now this is the calling of David as king. Okay, calling of David as king. Background here is Samuel goes to Jesse, David's father. He says, God has anointed a king from your household. So of course, you know, Jesse brings in all of his kids, all of his sons, 7 sons, and they're all big and all warrior-like, you know. And Samuel goes by every one of them, and he says, neither of these has the Lord chosen. Is there anyone else? And that's where we're going to pick up. Is there anyone else? Let's pick up in verse 11. Verse 11, he says this. The Bible says this. Samuel said to Jesse, are these all your young men? And he said, there remains yet the youngest, and there he is shepherding the flock. Then Samuel said to Jesse, send and bring him, for we will not sit down until he comes here. So he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, with beautiful eyes and a good appearance. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of the brothers. And the Spirit of the Lord came on David. From that day forward, so Samuel arose and went to Ramah. Now, understand that the reason we are bringing David in here is because David was in Jesus' lineage, included David. Okay, David was in Jesus' lineage. Okay, so we are seeing the first of the lineage of Jesus, David, being a king, being anointed king. So it's a picture of the king to come. Although David was weak and David had some problems, not saying that Jesus is like David. Jesus is not like David. Jesus is perfect. But it's the beginning of the process in his life, or in his lineage of kingship. Okay? God anointing the lineage of Jesus, starting with David, as the lineage of kingship. Okay? So, understand that David was ruddy. He was small, he was usually the youngest. But he was, and some people say around this time he was about 11 or 12 years old. Okay, so that's some estimations. 11 to 13 is what some estimations are. And so, kind of like the same age Mary was when the angel of the Lord came to Mary and said, you're going to be with child, and she told her all about it, and she said, well, let it be as you have said. And she became with child the Lord Jesus. So understand that, excuse me again, my allergies are really acting up today. So understand that this, God says that in the, I had to pause the video and clear my throat, but in the lineage of David, there's going to be David, in the lineage of David, Jesus, in the lineage of David. Why was David chosen? David was the youngest. David was handsome, but he was ruddy. Okay, it says he was ruddy with beautiful eyes and a good appearance. So he was good looking, but he was ruddy. He was small. Okay, he was small. He's in the lineage of Jesus. And I take this, and I take some liberties with this, and I try to identify with myself what this means to me, and I hope it kind of translates something to you too. But if you think about it, David was the least of his brothers, okay, just like Gideon was the least of his the children of Israel, yet God used them. Did they have problems? Did they both have problems? Yes. Gideon had a problem with belief, but God saw him through, and in the end he believed. David had a problem with belief too, also. And David had a problem with temptation, and David had a problem with sin, but yet after David's total coming back to God in Psalm 51, we see David changing and David being the king that God wanted him to be. And so, how does this translate to you and I today, as far as the birth of Christ? Okay, I want to bring this out to you because as far as the only way that it translates in the Advent season that it would translate is that David was in the lineage of Jesus. So we're beginning going through the lineage of Jesus now. Okay, so but for you and I, for 2016 on December 11th, what we are thinking here and what we are doing here is saying that we might feel, you and I may feel as though we are not as good as so and so, or not as proficient in things as so and so. Guess what? God still can use you. God can still use you. He can still bring you to a place. I was preaching a while back at a little church, and one of the things that I brought out was, because it was an older congregation. It was an older congregation, lovely people, but it was an older congregation, and there was one young man besides me, and he was the youngest. He probably was in college, but I brought out that maybe as an older generation, as this church was, we begin to feel as though, hey, I have nothing left to offer. Okay, and that's wrong. We have a lot to offer. Maybe you feel like, well, I'm just the littlest in my family. I don't have nothing. I don't know how to do anything. Listen, God can still use you. God can still use you. God can still do good things with you. I mean, look at me. 10 years ago, who would have thought I'd been doing this, right? 10 years ago. I'm talking 10 years, okay? I didn't start this till 2008. I didn't start this journey until 2008. I wanted to. It was in my heart. I wanted to do it. But in 2008 is when I started. So 2006, I had nowhere to get started. I knew nothing about computers. I knew nothing about doing this. Now, because I grew in what God is in doing what God is leading me to do, this is the outcome. So whatever God has got you to do, follow through, follow Him, and allow Him to do it through you, and you'll see yourself pretty quickly begin to know and seek God in a real way, and know God and see God moving in your life. Wonderful, wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. So that's my challenge. Don't allow the feelings of inferiority cloud your giftings, or cloud your call for God this Christmas season. So until next time, it's Pastor Josh. God bless.